Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training and DioGi. And one of the things I've sensed in the last week or so, few days, is that he is coming into his own receptivity for learning. And that's just my gut telling me that he's very receptive to this. And so now is the time to really start getting into the healing exercises, because you know you've already set in some luring and you've taught him the no, good, and the yes. He understands a lot of what your relationship, your communication baseboard is there enough for you to grow it, right? So now I went back to, I was talking about this morning with my other video, talking about Forrest Mickey. Forrest Mickey's got a series on leoberg.com that's called the Healer's Toolbox. And that is a godsend. I don't know if you guys know it, but Forrest Mickey's major is his communications major. And he's the one that kind of set the tone for Leoberg in regards to their glossary of terms and the quality in their communication baseboard as far as the video formats that they're putting together with Michael Ellis and with Forrest and everything. It's just excellent. You know, there's a lot of other trainers on that site, but they're just not as good as Forrest Mickey and Michael Ellis and what he's got to give. So I have certain ones that I follow, other ones I've even got their stuff and I've kind of just went, yeah. You know, it's because of the consistency and the ability to communicate and keep the terminology, that glossary of terms, so important to our industry overall, because for years we were using different words. Before the internet, I would be using one sort of words and one way of explaining something, and the guy down the road would be using another, right? So now we're getting a lot better at using the same terminology. I try to stay with that. If you notice my lexicon, my jargon, a lot of it's coming from that whole series, right? So now it's time for me to get online and start doing my research and start getting my juices flowing in my head and starting to get a feel for him. So I'm kind of right now a little bit confused. Where do I start? What do I do? I got on Forrest Mickey's site, and on Instagram I went on his Instagram feed, and I found a post to him talking about some videos that he's doing, and he's got it on his forrestmickey.com. He's got 2 videos there. He calls them a tutorial. In other words, they're not really structured exactly this is what you do. It's a matter of putting it into your toolbox and understanding that this is the stuff you can use to build certain behaviors, and then why you would do that, right? So I'm trying to figure out when I want to do that and how I want to approach it right now. It'll take me about 3 days, a week and a half, whatever, to get kind of put it together in my head to figure out what I'm doing. Am I not going to work him? No, I'll work him in the Healer's Toolbox and keep him out his side. One of the things he's doing is at his side head position. We'll start there, but his want for learning right now is really receptive. He's jumping on the bowls on his own. He was going after trying to get the sleeves the other day because he's been imprinted with the sack work and with sleeve work already, and he's now teething. So I've got a month to go without much to be able to do in the sack work or in the sleeve work, because I don't want him to have any negative on the mouth. So this is the perfect time. His receptivity towards learning, and the fact that he's teething and I've got nothing else to do, or I won't be doing that much, so I'm going to drop that and I'm going to concentrate on this. This is when I get that baseboard. So that's where we're at now. I'll do a little bit of this. The first thing I want to worry about is his headset, right? I see. Yes, good boy, good. I see. Your little butthead, he's already worn off his energy sitting there talking to you guys, so I gotta get him back up and drive. Yep, so I'm gonna use my balls. Yep, yeah, good boy, good. Yeah, good boy. Nice. Yes, good boy, good. Do a little bit of back end awareness stuff. I've got him going almost all the way without pushing him now. I'm trying to accent right side, left side, so I wanna make sure I do it with both hands, right? So I'm kind of trying to force myself to stop the bad habit of always doing it with my right hand and make sure that I'm getting equal on both sides. My food reward etiquette is important to me right now, so I want to get into some of that where my hand is coming around to the back. I'm going to set head and get him. Let me get this table out of the way. I don't need it. Come on. Come on. Good boy, good. We're going to do bowl work, and I'm going to try to do the side and set up my marker on that. Good boy. Yeah, good boy, good. Good boy, yes, good. Good boy. All right, come on, let's go. I'm gonna go back by the bowl so I can, yeah, good boy, good. Nope, nope. Yes. His want for the food is good. We'll keep this up. What's really important right now is that I work in the same time of day the same pattern that he gets high on, so that adrenaline level, that energy, the energy is going to come up when I do it every day the same way. Good boy, good, yeah, good boy, good boy. Now I lost a lot of this. He had a lot more energy when I first came out. I put him away, got the camera out, was doing a bunch of other stuff, and then I started chattering to you, and his head went to a different place, right? So, good boy. Yes, good boy, good. He's got a puppy sit that I don't like, but I'm not going to worry about that much, because I'm more worried about where his head's at. Come on, come on. Oh, good boy. Good. We had such a good session yesterday. Good boy, yes, good boy, good. So we've got him coming up, and I've got to iron a lot of this out. It doesn't happen right away. I've got to get a feel for the dog, get a daily session, and get my pattern set going in the right way, right? And this is just starting. So we've got a good luring. He follows that lure. He's got the spin. Yeah, you're going to choke on me, huh? You're going to choke on me, huh? Good boy. Good boy. Ah, yeah, good boy. Good. So I got to play with it, figure out where his head's at, and start getting some things to work. So it's not all going to be right today that we're doing this. We're just starting with trying to get formal with him, right? I'm going to be doing a lot of looking at Forrest Mickey's Healer's Toolbox, really doing a lot of growth there, trying to get that tutorial in my head with what he's got going there. That'll just be extra little things that I can use. One of those was a little tweezer fingers, I think is what he called it. He had a friend that called it tweezer fingers. So you're trying to get the dog to not reach for the food. Yes, good boy, good. And I don't know if I could get him to take it out. He was doing it. Yes, good boy, good. And I've got to get this stuff going, flowing, so he understands the concept, right? Remember what I'm talking about all the time is conveying a thought to the dog. Yes. And a lot of this is just that. So I've got to keep working at it, go back and study it and see what the dog's giving me. And I don't like that little puppy sit, but I'm not going to worry about it right now, huh? Yes. Good. Yes. More important, this is his first time doing this, so more importantly that he understands I've got to fit a bit of food for him. Yes. Good. He doesn't know how to take that gingerly out of my hand. He has no clue. He hasn't been done it before. Good boy, good. You know, DioGi, come on. That puppy sit's bugging me, damn it. Sit up like a man, damn it. Good boy, good. Yes, good boy. So I'm just going to give him a, hey. Yes, good boy. Just enough that he starts to understand it's between my fingers. Yes. And then we'll build on that with what the projected goal is. The goal is to kind of make him concentrate. Yes. Good. Yes. All right, I just caught it. I teased him a little bit. He wanted to grab it. Every time he started, I pulled it away. So pull away the food when he's going for it. When he holds. Yes, good boy. You give it to him. So I can build on that now that I kind of got a feel for it. So a lot of this, you just got to go and you got to listen to what Forrest is telling you and then kind of put it together. A lot of concepts that I've got to understand. I've got to work the animal to get a feel for it. Yes, good boy, good. So I start to understand it, and we'll build on that. So many things, tricks to be able to use. There was one the other day that I was listening to with the Canine Paradigm where they were talking about a box. And it's the first time I've seen the box. It comes from Bart Balone. They're feeding the dog in a box, and I want to go to that. And it builds the dog's mental capacities in a lot of ways, but they explained it really well. It was excellent. So go back to that. I think it's number 4. Actually, number 4, Canine Paradigm. That far back. He was working with Bart, obviously. Nope. I see. Good. And had that on his mind. He did a great job of explaining why they're using it and what they're doing with it. Yes. Good boy. Good. what I'm going to do is put away the food, play ball, and we're going to go away. I'm not going to feed him this morning. I want more food dry for this work. Good boy, good. Short and sweet, done and over with. I'm just trying to grasp the concepts and what's going on with the dog's head when I'm applying it. And as I go along, I'll start to see it and we'll start building on it, right? DioGi, good boy, good, yay. Now, one of the things that happened this morning is I put him in the yard and he's been going back and forth, going crazy in the yard. A lot of burn off of energy. So here's where we start talking about energy and how you manage your training session. What that means is I want to put the dog in the box maybe an hour before I come out. I might want to set it out here because it's pretty cold up here right now, maybe put it in the shade or wherever. So he starts to key in on the fact that when he starts to work, he's going in that box. I could go up front, I can use my holding pins for that. But we've got to manipulate that and manipulate his want, his energy levels in the right way. So that we get anticipatory want, we get build in that regards, and we don't let him burn off energy. So again, I had him out in the yard and he was going spastic back and forth, being a dog. And so he's already worn out mentally, I can sense it. So I'm not getting that keen work ethic that I want in this session. And you're going to have a bunch of sessions. You have good days, bad days, but this is the sort of thing you got to think about. Okay, how can I manipulate? Maybe putting him in the box an hour before you work. Having a set pattern of behavior that the dog picks up on. I go and I clatter in the kitchen, I eat breakfast, put him in the box an hour before I go, and then I get done with breakfast and I take off with the dog. You understand what I'm saying? The dogs pick up on that contextual stuff, and if you can do it in the right way in a really firm little pattern, the dog's going to pick up on it and start getting high. We're going outside to work. We're gonna be doing this, right? You don't let the dog expend energy. So you've got to think about this stuff and try to be creative in how you manage flowing into your session. You want to do it the same relative time of day. You want to pick up on things that you can manipulate that will bring up his drive and his energy level and his want for that session, where his head is in the right place to work in, right? His head is really not in the right place right now. Why? Because I've not done any of this. My head's been I got online about those 2 tutorials from Forrest Mickey. My head's starting to try to soak that in. Well, I got to take time to read that. I'll be at it tonight again. I'll be going through the Healer's Toolbox. I'll be kind of putting all this together over the next few days until I get a nice flow, and then I'll start moving forward, right? In a better fashion and a more concise and consistent pattern, right? When I built Rocky, the Reckless Dutch, and a lot of you guys follow me because of that, I was using that holding pin out in front. Every morning we would go out and I'd put him in that holding pin. I'd get all my stuff set up, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and by the time I took him out, Rocky was ready to work. Right? And that's the same thing we want to do with him. We want to set up pattern to where we get him so he knows exactly what's coming. And when I say ready, he knows what that means. He's ready to work, right? And I'll be able to create that with a little bit more work. I just got to get my head in the right place and get this flowing, tweak a few things, get it set, and then start consistently doing the same work patterns as I go. Right? Example of that is when these guys go out and do IGP and Schutzen, they're going to their club field. The dog knows that that's what's going on. The dog gets brought out of the truck, goes out on the field, and each person takes a turn. When that dog comes out of the truck, he knows he's going to the field. They do obedience first, put the dog back, and then they come back for a whole protection phase with how many other people's in the club. The dogs pick up on this, and so that's the same thing that I want to do. I want to create a pattern of contextuality that gets the dog into it so that anticipatory want comes up, and you're not letting him waste energy in the wrong place by the time you get out here and you see where he's at now. His head's not in the right place, right? So we gotta tweak some things to make that work. We'll get it. It's understanding what you're doing and understanding what that's all about. Good boy, good. That's a boy. Good. Are you ready? Get it. Oh, you got it. Good boy, good. Yes, my boy, good. Out. Good boy, yes. Good boy. He understands out enough that I'm not even this because of 2-ball. Good boy. Out. Yes, good boy. And right away you see him springing forward. His brain wasn't even knowing. He knows something's going to happen. He's getting used to it. Good boy. DioGi, out. Good boy, good. All right, I'll let you guys go. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, signing off. For this one anyway. I'm going to do another one.